Hey guys, my name is Maddie Marlene. This is my 12-year-old Mustang Mare Weaver. She's been out of the wild for a little bit now, and one of the things that we're working on is getting her used to her feet being handled and trimmed. Horses' feet affect their entire body, so obviously we want to make sure that we're keeping really good care of their hooves and hoof care to be an overall really good experience for everybody involved. I'm just going to show you guys some of the things that I've done to get her to where she's at now. You want to make sure that your horse is okay with you in their blind spots, so make sure that you walk all the way around your horse and that they're okay with that, and walk away around the other way. If they're not okay with you being in their blind spot, then you definitely need to work on that first. First thing I taught her to do was just to lift each leg individually, so she already kind of knows what's going on, but that way it just makes lift, good, lift, good, lift, good girl. I feel like it just makes it easier as far as lifting up their legs, obviously. To teach your horse to lift the leg, you're just gonna tap, 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 and they're gonna lift up their leg. As soon as they lift up their leg, you're gonna take all pressure away, and you can offer a treat if you want. And then always start as light as possible. And then if they're not listening, you can increase the pressure a little bit, but don't ever hit them. And lift, good, and lift, lift, good girl. I would leave that as like one session. Teach your horse to lift their legs and then be done for the day. None of this is going to happen overnight. Just have patience, take your time, and you know, it's important to know when to be done for the day. So anyways, I'm going to go ahead and drop my whip. Okay, so after I taught her to lift each individual leg, then I started picking up her feet. So when I first started doing this, she would only let me pick up a foot for like a couple of seconds, and then she would be like, yep, give me my foot back. And lift, good girl. And I'm just gonna hold her foot for a second and set it down. Good girl. Never give her a treat. Nice job. Good girl. Good. And it depends on how like comfortable your horse is. If your horse is really uncomfortable, you wouldn't even hold them for this long. You would just briefly hold the foot and go ahead and put it down. And if they're saying, no, I don't want you to keep holding my foot, you say, okay, I'm listening to you. Here's your foot. And then you go ahead and try again. So allowing her to say no was super important, just because if I didn't allow that, then she completely panicked, completely blew up. She felt the need to go into flight or fight mode. Back feet are the ones that are a little bit sketchy. So there, she's wound up real tight. I'm just gonna go ahead and grab her. And I really want her to just kind of relax. So you can see I'm kind of stepping away just because I would rather not get kicked. And this could be a good time to like use a rope, but I'm not too worried about her kicking me. Okay. And when I feel her kind of relax a little bit more, she's wound up super tight. Good girl. Good girl. So it was probably hard to tell, but I did feel her relax just a tiny bit in my hand. And that's when I went ahead and put her foot down. And so as you see, we're not even bringing tools in right now. I really just want her used to me picking up her feet. That was a little bit better with this leg. And she's pulling a little bit. If she goes to pull her foot away from me, she can have it. I'm not fighting her over that. And then we'll just kind of keep working on it. Good. Good girl. That was nice. Good. She can go ahead and have that back. Good. you're building your way up. It's not all going to happen in a day. It might not all happen in a week or 2 weeks. You're just kind of on their time. And like I said, I've incorporated a lot of this into her grooming routine. She's always getting her feet handled, and she's still not 100% confident with it. As I'm just going to add in a very simple tool, which is a hoof pick. I'm going to ask a little bit more from her. So she is trying to pull her foot back. I'm going to say, hey, I'm not going to give you your foot back quite yet. Good. And as soon as she relaxed, that's when I gave her her foot back. Lift. Good girl. Good. So again, this is something that you might just have to work on in baby steps. So like you might only be able to touch the hoof pick to her foot. And eventually you just work your way up, right? And I like to too, I'll give them a treat while I'm holding their foot. Oh no, except we're out of treats. That's not good. Hang on. She wouldn't let me pick up her feet if I had this, so I had to keep it actually on the ground. And then I would ask her to say, I would say lift. Good. And then from here, I would simply just do this. I would hold the rasp here, and then I would put her foot down. And we would do that over and over again. And then the next step that I would do is I would say, lift, good girl. And then I would simply touch to her foot, and then I would take it away. And I would touch it, and I would take it away. Always taking it away before we crossed that line of panic. Once you start actually using the rasp, obviously it makes a noise, and it's going to feel different to them. In this moment, you know, they might kind of feel some type of way. She definitely did. As soon as this happened, she was like, heck no. And so I would literally just do one, and then I would put her foot down, and eventually I would go, and then I would put her foot down. And now we've reached the point where I can pretty much trim her foot upside down. And so lift. Good girl. Just kind of get them used to it. You know, and I'm obviously not in a like great stance right now. I'm kind of keeping myself back in a way. When I first started doing this all with her, I was like stepped way far back because, you know, you don't want to get in their way if they do have a blow up. But simply just getting them used to this noise and feeling so that your farrier can do their job by walking around it. Just letting her know it's no big deal, and this thing isn't gonna hurt you. Walk around it from both sides. Good girl. Bring the hoof stand under her, but I'm gonna keep holding on to her foot here. Good girl. She seems relatively okay with that. So we're gonna ask her a little bit more. We'll say, okay, can you maybe rest your foot down a minute? Good girl. Good. Good job. That is very good. Good job. So she's quite nervous about it on this side. And I'm just going to set it there. Good girl. Yeah, you can check it out if you want. Good. Always aiming for relaxation, curiosity, play. Those are kind of the emotions. Good girl. I like that she's kind of putting her head towards it. I'm just going to leave it a little bit closer to her. Good girl. So all this might seem a little silly to somebody that has a horse that's good with their feet being trimmed, but a horse that is terrified of it, these are all just like good things to practice. Calm down. Good girl.